So thank you all for coming. This is a great crowd. This is an awesome crowd, actually, for the flag raising for Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. I'll start with a land acknowledgement. The town of Midland recognizes it's located on land which is traditional and treaty territory of the Anishinaabe people, now known as the Chippewa Tri-Council, comprised of the Bosley First Nation, the Rama First Nation, and Georgina Island First Nation. The territories within pre-Confederation Treaty 5 and Treaty 16, and included within the Williams Treaties of 1923. The town of Midland recognizes it's located on land which is the traditional and treaty territory of the Huron-Wendat and the historic homelands of the Métis, and that our town is home to a large and diverse community of Indigenous people. But today, the purpose of Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month is to increase awareness about MS and to encourage people to act in support of those affected by this disease. MS affects millions of people worldwide. Even the small group of us here today very likely are impacted or know someone who's been impacted by MS in some way. For the month of May, we honor those living with MS, their caregivers, their families, and living with MS can be challenging, and those affected often face many obstacles in their lives, which is why advocacy is pertinent to ensure efforts and push for increased access to quality healthcare, new therapies, medications, and equitable policies and practices. As we reflect on the importance of Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month, let us remember that together we can make a difference. Everyone has the power to make a positive impact in the lives of those affected by MS. And always continue the conversation, educate ourselves, and take action to support MS research and advocacy wherever possible. MS Canada is a fantastic resource to start with in finding information on MS research, taking action, and even financial support.
So thank you everyone for coming. As you know, I'm with MS Canada. I'm an MS ambassador. I was diagnosed with MS 7 years ago when I was 19, and it was a really hard hit for me because I thought my life was over. I didn't know how that was going to affect me. I didn't know what that meant for my future. I didn't know what that meant for my career. And slowly over time, I started to come to grips with MS and realize this doesn't mean my life is over. This means I get to refigure my life and see what works for me and how I can help other people. And organizing this event, I organized an event in Barrie, in Meaford, in Springwater, in Tiny, in Bracebridge, in Orillia, in Innisfil. And I lived in Innisfil for 20 years, and then I came to Midland, and I thought, why not help more people? There's so many people that feel that scared feeling in their life of, I don't know what the rest of my life is, I'm just going to give up. But MS doesn't have to control you, you can control it. I've been living with MS for 7 years, but of those 7 years, about 4 have been without medication, and that's what works for me. And I think a lot of people feel stuck in what they have to do with MS. They have to do a certain thing, their doctor tells them this, whoever has an expectation of them, but it's their life, only they understand what it's like to have MS. And I was very fortunate to find people that were in support of me, and the sun came out, and understanding what it meant to have MS to help me get to where I need to get to. So now, whenever I talk to someone with MS, because there's so many more people with MS now than there have ever been before, it's really a humbling experience for me, because to think of where I started when I was diagnosed and to where I am now, I feel like I'm a completely different person, and I guess that's what growth is. So thank you all for coming out.
Isabella, I think it's every year, and it's during this month, that there's traditionally a walk, a fundraising walk for MS.
Yeah, there's the Barrie MS walk on May 26th at the
along the waterfront, right?
Yeah, it's by Heritage Park.
Yep. All right, so you can sign up for that online. You can join groups that already exist, or you can just go walk, ride a bike, push a stroller, bring the dog. It's all in a good cause every year.
For sure.
You know, and I don't have a million friends, but I have quite a few, and I can think of 2 right now whose lives are impacted by MS. And so that walk is something that happens yearly, and it's a fundraising opportunity and also to raise awareness. So I encourage everyone, you can get down to Barrie, and maybe we could even get our own up in North Simcoe.
Yeah, if there's enough people.
We've got enough people, I think, between the 4 municipalities, so maybe something we can look into for next year.
Mm-hmm.